Good afternoon. It is afternoon. It's been one of those lazy mornings. The sun is coming out. I will be going outside, but 95% humidity. There's Pearly Girl. She spent the night in her thunder shirt. It was not a great night, but she did really, really well. Didn't you, puppy? Yeah, you just needed your shirt and some cuddles, and you were good. And here's our patient. There's our patient with her sad eyes, but she has an infected foot and is on antibiotics, and she is walking on her foot better than she has been, and so I think it's feeling better, right? The doctor gave you some medicine, yeah, and said you need to lose weight. Well, ain't it true for everybody? Almost. Anyway, Dennis is making me a cappuccino. Good afternoon. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Bad hair day. I'm going to take a shower later today because I'm going to my parents tomorrow. I will not be vlogging tomorrow or Sunday, I don't think. So, cheers. But good news. We were able to get Maisie into the doctor, and she looks, by the time Dennis got there, he's like, oh, she's like standing on it and not acting like it hurts at all. Isn't that always the way? But in fact, the doctor could see the sore right away, and she thought that, it had probably filled up and burst. And once it bursts, the pressure is off and it doesn't hurt as much. So anyway, she's on an antibiotic. Keep your fingers crossed. The last time they were on antibiotics, it was horrible and they wouldn't eat. You remember that story. I don't even want to think about it. But she got it before bed. They eat around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So hopefully her stomach isn't upset. She also gave her, the vet gave her a probiotic. So hopefully that will work. Anyway, so Maisie's on the mend. She's barely limping now. So that's good. And she doesn't have to wear a mitt or anything, and we don't have to try to keep her from licking her paw. Although, if it upsets her stomach, we may have to do something else. But anyway, meanwhile, there you go. Very happy with that news. Okay, here's a weird story. I don't know if this is content or not. So, when we have our house cleaned, I write a check for the woman who runs the company, who has moved to Arizona, whatever. And I put it in an envelope with her name on top, and I lick the envelope. I guess they don't want the people doing the actual cleaning to know how much they're charging for their work. And I put the tip for the 3 people on top of the envelope. And the couple who cleaned this time are ones who really enjoyed Dennis's wine, and so we put a bottle of wine on top for Terry and Pete. So this was 2 weeks ago, yesterday. So I get a call, text on Friday from the woman in Arizona saying that the cleaners didn't get a check from me, and they're saying that they didn't get a check. And I'm like, well, I will look around, but it was on the counter. It's not on the counter. The tip's gone, the envelope's gone, and the wine's gone. We looked in the garage in case somebody dropped it on the way out. We couldn't find it. She's like, okay, well, they're saying they don't have it. Can you send me a check? And I said, sure. Of course, it took me a week. And we stopped payment on the other check. And I said, I probably don't have to stop payment, because if they find that check, they're just going to rip it up. They're not going to, now that they've denied twice that they took the check, they're not going to own up to the check, right? This was 2 weeks ago. So, took me a while to send it. I'm bad about that. But that's why I like the way it is. They just take the check and I don't have to think about it. Anyway. So, this morning, I put down my cup on, we have what we call the microwave cart. Dennis's dad built it for him for his microwave, but it's in the mud room and it's got cupboards underneath for big pots and things, and we have our food processor on top of it and all kinds of stuff. Dennis recently cleaned it out, and I think he cleaned it out within the last 2 weeks. I'll have to ask him about that. So I set my cup down, and right next to it, and I couldn't remember on which side of this gizmo was the envelope for the cleaning lady, with one part of it torn up and half the tips stuffed into the envelope. I'm like, I made crackers yesterday. I moved that piece of equipment in and out of there. I was there underneath there getting the pans. I was all over that microwave cart yesterday, and I didn't notice this envelope yesterday. And I'll need to ask Dennis. Hold on, let me ask him. He thinks he cleaned it a month ago, so that would have been before the cleaners. Anyway, he thinks that maybe they dropped it. We can't figure it out. Maybe they dropped it on the floor. It got ripped open by the door. And maybe Kim saw it when she came over. Or the kids saw it. But the kids would have said something. Nana, I found money on the floor. Because the envelope was ripped and the tip money was tucked in. Anyway, I'm going to ask him because I want to ask Jason. But, you know, I mean, you walk in the door, you see an envelope and money on the floor. You pick it up and you say, hey, I just found this on the floor. You don't just tuck it on the closest thing you see. And I swear it wasn't there yesterday. Although I don't know how somebody could have snuck in and put it in there because I didn't go on the dog walk with Dennis because he only had Pearl. Anyway, whatever. Just happened. I guess you can tell. So I do not know how that happened, but anyway, we could have saved $25 stopping payment on that check. Very strange. Very strange. So, yesterday, I knit. I started knitting on the hood of Isabel's sweater. I have not knit for a month, at least. More than a month. More than a month. I just haven't been knitting. But I got some good advice on the Zoom call about just give it up, because I cannot picture. I read the pattern for that hood on this pattern, the Montrealer, and I cannot picture how it works. In my mind, there's no good picture, actual picture of the hood. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't look fun to knit that way. And so I wasn't doing it. I mean, I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and I still really can't. And so I just decided I'm just going to make a hood. I'm just going to make a hood. She's probably going to have a point at the back of that hood. She won't care. She'll be perfectly happy having a point at the back of that hood. Maybe I'll put a gold tassel on that point. Make her a nice gold tassel. I don't know. But anyway, so I just picked up the stitches and started knitting. So I'm knitting a hood. How, you know, if I want to put short rows in later, because this was all short rows, but the short rows start right away on the side. I mean, it was, anyway, I just can't picture it. I have knit hoods. I knit the girls each a sweater that has a hood. Maybe I should go look at that one and see what the hood was. But the hood wasn't anything weird. I think it had a point. I think I'm just going to make a point. But anyway, I knit yesterday for a little while, not very long. So that felt good. That felt good. That felt good. But I did not sleep well last night. I was awake when the thunder started. I ran down and got Pearl's thunder shirt. So, you know, it was one of those nights where I woke up and I was up for a few hours in the middle of the night. I did not want to get out of bed, which is why it's afternoon now. I just couldn't get started today. The only thing I have to do today is figure out what I want to do for my dad. Tomorrow is my father's birthday. And Isabel's birthday. So I'm going to go get him a card. I had ordered him a walker, a 3-wheel walker like Ora uses, because I thought it would be good for him, and I was supposed to use his credit card, but we couldn't. I think Dennis got the billing address wrong or something. Anyway, it wouldn't go through when we finally put it on our card, and I said, you know, happy birthday. I have since been able to use his card. I bought Mama some pants on his card and had it sent to him, so I don't know what happened there, but anyway, that turned out to be his birthday present, and so I'm going to get him a card. But I will also get there in time so he can go have his lunch, his main meal, with his friends at the table. You know, he misses them when he can't eat with them. So that'll be part of my gift, to be there and stay with Mama and help her eat. She's not eating very much. And hang out with her, and that should be good. So meanwhile, I guess I'm going to go. It is muggy out here. Go wrestle with the idea of what the heck happened with that envelope. I mean, I really don't think that envelope has been there very long. That's the problem. But I'll text Kim and see if, because she was here and Jason was here, and the girls were here since the cleaners came. So if none of them picked it up, then I don't know what happened. But it's weird. Very weird. But Maisie's on the mend. Pearl got through the night pretty well, and I was knitting. So that's the big, really big news of the day yesterday. And I will talk to you again on Monday, tell you how my weekend goes. But meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.